So I'm watching Gavin Newsom give a speech yesterday about how California is going to handle this. He's the governor of California. And he said the first thing we got, or maybe the second thing, one of the first two priorities he has is got to take care of the homeless population.
3, in relationship to seniors as our top priority in home isolation as it relates to bars and new guidelines on restaurants. I referenced the issue of homelessness. This is a top concern in the state of California in the abstract. We have 108,000 unsheltered homeless individuals in the state of California.
So they know that. They know they have 108,000 homeless people in the state of California. Wow. That's a bad.
Well, so it takes a pandemic to actually decide to do something about our homeless.
Well, let's see what they said, and then we'll comment.
We need to meet this moment aggressively, and I can assure you, I mentioned 13 of our task force teams.
So we can meet this moment aggressively, the coronavirus moment, but not the homeless moment. So we can handle this homeless moment now. Watch.
That are residing in this building. They are our teams just working 24/7 on this issue to get people out of encampments and get people into environments where we can address their growing anxiety and our growing concern about the health of some of our most vulnerable Californians out in the streets and sidewalks. We are in real time procuring hotels and motels to convert to appropriate sites. We have just identified as just an example. This is not even close to the magnitude of what we are proposing, but it's just a point of consideration and a proof point to give you a sense of what we're doing. We have additional 450 trailers that we have identified that will be dispersing to critical points.
They have 450 trailers? All of a sudden they have 450 trailers. Where'd they come from? All of a sudden there's hotels and motels that they're going to be able to get these people residents in. So you could have done this shit all along. You could have been doing this all along. It took a pandemic for you guys to implement a plan to help the homeless people? Yes. And I'm guessing because the homeless people don't vote. How could you be the governor? That's the governor of California. There's 108,000 homeless people sleeping on the street, the people in the most vulnerable situations of us, and he goes to sleep every night without doing anything about them.
And we're the fifth largest economy.
We're the fifth largest economy in the world. He goes to sleep every night knowing there's 108,000 of his constituents on the street, and he goes to sleep. And you know what? And now he has a plan for it. Why? Because it affects us. Now he has a plan for it. I'm glad he has a plan for it. This pandemic is doing more for socialism than anybody. We're going to get UBI. They're going to take care of the homeless? Because, I don't know if you remember, Trump was trying to institute some homeless plan, and his plan was to lock them up pretty much. Gavin Newsom didn't have a plan then. Didn't have a plan until yesterday. The thing is, it's not even a campaign issue when people run for office. They don't even have to address. Did they ever talk about homelessness in one presidential debate? Did it ever even come up? How are you going to handle the homelessness? No, not even. We don't even give a fuck. That's how moral we are. That's how decent we are. Not decent. Trump is the representation of this country. We walk past homeless people in the richest country in the world. Gavin Newsom has 108,000 people living on the streets. He doesn't give a shit until now because it affects him. Because now it affects other people. And it might affect him getting reelected. So now he has to take care of this homeless problem because it'll look bad for him trying to get reelected. Because if he doesn't take care of it, it'll stop us from dealing with the coronavirus, and that'll kill his reelection. So now he wants to. So now it's important. That just goes to show you the moral bankruptcy of this entire country. This idea that somehow, the other politicians are better than Trump. Every night that guy went to bed knowing there's 108,000 of the most vulnerable people without shelter. Anyway. What What would you like to say about that? Oh, is there more to this? Let's watch.
Across this state, and we're working to address the needs within the shelters so that, again, we have appropriate distancing and we are appropriating ourselves as it relates to social mixing for those vulnerable communities as well. So that's another area of deep and disproportionate emphasis that also we are advancing as a directive.
Okay. That was from Mike Timpson. Thank you, Mike. So there you go. There's our governor. All of a sudden, he's got a plan for the homeless. All of a sudden, they got 450 trailers out of nowhere. All of a sudden, they're going to find hotels and motel places for these people. That's the kind of stuff governments are supposed to be doing on the regular. That's the whole point of having a government. Now you understand why we got Trump? Because we have a government that doesn't take care of its own fucking people. That's why people voted for Trump, because we have a government that doesn't take care of its own people. It implements laws that makes it harder for them. The government screws them over.
Today's LA Times article highlights Governor Newsom's speech, and one of the quotes is, Randy Simonson, a 65-year-old homeless man in Sacramento, said he would like to go indoors during the crisis. He listened to the governor's speech on a transistor radio and heard the call for older residents to stay home. But I don't have a home.
Doesn't have a home. So what's going to happen is all the homeless people are going to get coronavirus, and they're going to be the ones in your ICUs. And then you're not going to be able to get a bed because it's all going to be taken with a homeless person because they didn't have any protection from this. Who do you think's going to be the one sick first? Everybody, the next live Jimmy Dore show is May 1st in Minneapolis, and then we're going to Chicago. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a link for all the tickets to all our live shows, and become a premium member at jimmydorcomedy.com/join. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Thanks for your support.